What is up, everyone? This is Kay with Skywolf Game Studios, and I'm back for a new video. So let's dive right in. So previously, I shared this easy fix for Unreal to Blender, so that you could set up your own character, the UE default skeleton. And there was a lot of complaints, but actually, this is still pretty accurate, and I'll show you why. So, let's just dive right into Unreal Engine. And what we are going to do is, if you don't have this installed, just head over to unrealengine.com and download it and install it. And then once you have that up, you go to Library. And then I'm currently using Unreal Engine 5.4.4, and then just go ahead and install that engine version. Or you can use a later version. That's okay. 5.5 is about ready to come out with some really cool stuff, including animation and rigging improvements that are going to be super helpful. And we'll probably take a dive into that at some point soon too. All right, so let's go ahead and launch it. Installing. Ahead and go to games. Hopefully not crash on me. I'm just gonna call. Let's select the third person. I'm just gonna leave all default stuff. Just gonna third skill test. Create that. We're just creating this just so we can get the default UE guy skeleton, the mannequin or man. I have a habit of calling him the UE guy. Standard. Go. We're in. And what you want to do is go down here to the content drawer, and because I already have this, it's gonna kick me to the folder. There characters, okay, mannequins, meshes, and you can use the Manny or the Quinn or the simple Quinn. Quinn is the female version. Your character is a female. But for this demonstration, I'm just gonna use Manny. So let's open him up and take a look at what his skeleton looks like. We're on the skeletal mesh, SKM, and what we want is the SK. And if we go to, it's previewing on the Quinn, the female version, but anyway, you can view the bone hierarchy on the left in the KM. It's on the right here, structure. And basically you want to make sure this is fully intact. Because if it's not and you change anything, it's gonna really cause problems and UE is gonna hate you. So skeleton, and we go to character, bones, and then we hierarchy, and you can see all the bones. Not gonna touch anything. I'm just gonna out right quick. That down. I go to content drawer, and I'm gonna right click on Manny. I'm gonna go to asset actions right here, export, and it crashed. Hooray! Thank you, UUT. Round two. Bet you it crashes on me. Go. And what we're going to do from here is just save him to desktop. Just gonna make dash export test. And I'll show you why I'm doing this. Source shell source there, defaults, and export. So we're good there. Let's go ahead and go over. If you don't have Blender, you can go over to blender.org. That install that. It's also on Steam. That's what I'm using. That going. Hop into current version I'm using is 4.2. Test this and it does work. As far as importing, so in here we go to File, Import, X, here, and then we don't want an animation, skeleton. Want to make sure we enable automatic boning orientation, and then just go ahead and import. You can see here he's actually not sticking out. For that video that I had, I walked you through the same process. It's essentially the same thing. Happens. Now, if I were to import him, let's just drag him up. Let's just do that again. File, import. I'm gonna show you what happens if you don't enable that. Set. Turn this off. That's the automatic. Selected. Now let's go ahead and import it. Now you have that problem. This is what you're trying to prevent. Before you could kind of leave it as is, and that did work for me. But it's because of how animations improved and changed. It's not really working as well anymore. So I would recommend making sure that you have this kind of setup. And I'm going to show you something else that I found that's really cool. Get to that in a second. Actually, let's do this. We don't want that one. Just what it doesn't even matter because he's already centered. And then you can go ahead and make whatever changes on him just to show you the bone structure for the default. You go select the skeleton, just click on that, left click, and go and then view. If you click in front, you can actually see the bone hierarchy, and it looks pretty good as far as I can tell. If I were to that, and then go to pose, and then just click R, drag. You can see he's kind of moving around. Looks is intact, so as long as you can skeleton, assign it to yours. Just don't change the bone structure or anything. Like, obviously, you don't want to like drag up here. See how that can kind of screw with it. Anyway, so we're good there. So then all you have to do is just select the mesh that you've changed, skeleton, and then just go to File and then Export X. Selected, and all I want is the mesh and the armature. Desktop, back into the folder. I go in here, I'm just going to grab that name, file name. Don't have any animation. What we're looking at for is armature itself. Geometry also, I would change that. Personally, I like face though. Untick add leaf bones. You don't want that. I think we want root. We're gonna try it. If not, I got another way that will save you lots. So anyway, now let's just go over here and back down. We're back in Unreal Engine. Okay, gate. Click. Import with new file, and then new one with the same name. You can also just drag it in here and it'll overwrite that one as long as it has the same name. I duplicated it just in case something went wrong. That's just a general good rule of thumb. And then there you go. Good to go. We got the same skeleton because we didn't change anything. So in this case, it should be your character. You notice we didn't get any errors at all. So that's a really, really good thing. Double check that. There's the skeleton and structure is indeed intact. That's exactly what you want. Uh, that way you can reskin your character accordingly. Another way is this other add-on I like to call called BetterFBX. That's really good. Show you the difference. So what we want to do is we want to go over the browser. Let's go over to blendermarket.com and look for BetterFBX. This one is not free. Mesh Online, and it's 28 bucks. But this one's really useful too. So go ahead and add that into your cart, and then after you buy it, it will kick to this page. Go ahead and download this by clicking on the zip file. I've already got it, so I don't need it. Hop back into Blender, and I'll show you the difference. There's a slight difference, not much of a difference, but it's there. I'm gonna show you the difference, and then we'll redo it. All add-ons, you go to File, Preferences, Add-ons, and then install from disk, and then downloads, and then all that. And then because I already have it installed, you'll see a little message. Otherwise, if you don't have it installed, it will show up here. This basically adds import and export with several more options. I want you to be able to see the difference here. Skeleton file, and we want better FBX importer. Top UE guy. Uh, Source. And then what we want to do is leave on the optimize for Blender. I would disable the rotation because otherwise it's going to leave on the automatic. And there he is. But here, see how the skeleton is actually similar to this one over here? See how this one is? This one's more accurate. This add-on, in my opinion, has saved me a lot of. It's worth the 28 bucks. Or you can wait till a Blender Market sale and pick it up then, but I do recommend it. But anyway, so here, look where the bones are. But on this one, watch, it's slightly more accurate. Front, you'll see this one is a bit more accurate with its bones. The extra bones right here are okay, but this one is more appropriate. So if it were me, I would go with this one. Pro, and this one will still work though. I've proven it right here because you saw me pour him. It should be fine. So for this one, we have the same name. I just did that intentionally. You can rename it, but I wouldn't advise. Generally, you want to keep the same name structure and everything, unless you got like a custom character. Otherwise, it gets a little messy. And then we'll want to do thing. This time, export. BetterFBX exporter. Desktop. Hold on, let me change one thing right quick. Blender default test. That way it's not so confusing. Yeah, I'm just getting the name. Okay, back out. And I'm just going to chuck in that main folder. And then here we just want the selected object. And you can leave Maya ZO. There is an Unreal Engine, but it'll change the rotation on it. I usually leave Maya. That's default works fine. To keep the same axis. Otherwise, for the material, switch that to now. If you have any textures, you can embed them. There's no animations. You can leave the scale the same. I think I left out. Yeah, because Blender has adds an armature, so Ignore the armature, that way it goes with the root. Everything else should be good. Alright, let's go back over here. Time. This one, right click, file, and then this time we're going to select that one. As long as the skeletal structure is the same, you should not have any issue. But anyway, there's proof right there that this does work to get your characters in with the same default skeleton back and forth. It showed up like that because I didn't have any textures. That just shows and proves that my method does work. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below, and I hope this newer video helps solve and clarify how to do it properly, um, getting better at animating and rigging. You guys can make some awesome games. I'd love to see what you're working on. If this helped, please feel free to join my Discord. I'll drop the link. And also support me and my upcoming Steam game on Patreon. You guys take care.